What's going on, my dudes? This is Math Time with Mr. G, and today we're going to talk about identifying irrational numbers. So, there are 5 types of numbers that we are going to talk about. Technically, there's 6, but we're only going to cover the first 5 types. You cover the 6th one when you start getting into Algebra 2. So, the first type that we want to talk about is natural numbers. So, some people might do counting numbers is another name for it, but natural numbers are things that you can count with your fingers and toes. So if you had enough fingers, enough toes, we could count it. The next type that we're going to talk about is whole numbers. And the only difference between a whole number and a natural number is 0. So what that means is natural numbers include things like 2, 1, 2, 3, and whole numbers include 1, 2, 3, and 0. And the reason we don't count 0 as a natural number is we can't show 0 fingers. So we have the absence of fingers, but there's no such thing as 0 fingers. The next type we're going to talk about is called integers. So an integer is 1, 2, 3, 0, but now we're going to start including those negative numbers like -1, -2, -3. So it's all of those numbers plus -1, -2, -3. The next type is called rational. So rational is a decimal or a fraction that we can predict the next number. So if I were to give you something that looked like 0.3333, you could predict the next number, 3. Another example is 0.25 and then I stop, or terminating. You don't have to guess the next one. It's done. We're done with it. So rational includes 1, 2, 3, 0, -1, -2, -3, and these decimals. So the only difference between all of these is natural numbers do not include 0. But whole numbers include 0 and these. Integers include these and these, but whole number does not include these. And the last type that we're going to talk about is irrational. So irrational is a number with a decimal that we cannot predict the next number. So if I ask for what the next number of that decimal series is, it would be a total guess and you have no idea. Irrational is its own category and doesn't fit with the rest. Good old pi. There is one super famous irrational number, and it's 3.14159. And I'm sure some of you are singing a song right now and finishing out. But pi goes on for forever and has no real pattern to it. That's why it's the most famous irrational number. Other than that, be kind to one another, ask lots of questions, and think deeply.